We are having a problem with the live stream.
Uh-oh.
Kenny, is it running?
I just got it going and went live. It disconnected. Sorry about that. Should be going now.
Okay.
We'll give it a few more seconds then. Do you want me to start from the top?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. The November 18th, 2022 Oregon State Lottery Commission meeting is now in session. It is noted for the record that commissioners are attending this meeting via the web. Chair Sothoff is excused and a quorum of commissioners is present for today's meeting. Today's meeting is being live streamed on the internet and a link is posted on the Oregon Lottery website. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Patel?
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Here.
Commissioner Wilcox?
Here. Will the clerk please inform the commission of who else is in the meeting?
Yes, we have Director Pack, Kathy Stromberg, Janelle Simmons, Kathy Ortega, Matt Shelby, Mike Wells, Nate Carter, and Ty Calandrello.
Thank you. Members of the public had the opportunity to provide written public comment to the commission for this meeting. Can the clerk please confirm that no public comment was received?
That is correct. We did not receive any public comment.
Okay, and with that, I'd open this up for any commissioner communications. I'm hearing none. If we could move on, please, to the director's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilcox. You may have noticed that we had a record-setting jackpot run for Powerball, which ended last week, with a single ticket sold in California worth over $2 billion. Even though Oregon didn't take home the jackpot winner, the excitement around this run-up, which started on August 4th, generated a big boost in sales. $2 million winners in Oregon, 16 $50,000 winners, and $12.5 million in transfers. It's worth noting that when we see interest like this build around large jackpots, Oregon programs also see significant returns. Here's what that jackpot means for our beneficiaries. Education, 6.6 million, economic development, 3.1 million, state parks, 936,000, natural resources, 936,000, outdoor schools, 499,000, veteran services, 187,000, and problem gambling prevention, 124,000. I'll have more to share on Powerball in our sales update later in my report. Our fleet services department recently purchased a new Kia EV6 that staff can use for lottery-related business. Adding more electric vehicles to the fleet will help lessen the impact of lottery transportation on the environment. We're also tracking the operating costs of the EV6 versus its gas counterparts to see if this is a more cost-effective option for shorter trips. Every year, we celebrate and recognize our veteran employees who gave their service to our country. Last week, we held a Veterans Day barbecue at our Salem headquarters, along with other lunchtime events in Wilsonville and in the field. A number of our veterans shared photos of their time serving on our internal website, while staff were invited to fill out a note of thanks. And the annual charitable fund drive, lottery employees raised $9,779 for Oregon-based nonprofits. The average donation was $150, and 65 lottery employees contributed to the fund drive this year. My thanks to all who helped raise those funds. Moving on to sales. Overall sales are down slightly over this time last year by 2.2%. That said, we saw improved year over year each of the last 3 weeks. Video lottery sales are down nearly 8% from last year, following the trend that the Office of Economic Analysis discussed with the Commission last month. Traditional lottery product sales are up significantly, more than 16% over last year. Gains are driven largely by the large jackpot runs for Mega Millions and Powerball this year. We set some sales records with the run-up of the $2 billion Powerball jackpot. We had the biggest day of Powerball sales on November 7th, with $5.45 million in tickets sold. That's the largest sales day since January 13 of 2016, and the second highest ever based on sales data since 2000. We sold $36.7 million in Powerball sales through the jackpot run. That's enough to exceed the total Powerball yearly revenue in 2021. We also had 3 days of sales in the top 10 of all time for daily sales. Our retailers saw approximately $3 million in added commissions from the boost in ticket sales. That averages $897 for each retailer who sells lottery products. While Keno sales so far this year are behind last year by about 8%, they continue to trend above pre-pandemic levels by 20%. Finally, sports betting continues to grow, with Oregon players betting more than $50 million last month, and that's our best month so far. And to wrap up this month, as promised last month, I have a few winner stories to share with you. Not a regular Powerball player, Brooks Keeby purchased $10 quick pick tickets on November 7th because the Powerball jackpot was so large. This was the final drawing that ended the jackpot run. He matched all 5 numbers, missing only the Powerball. He had to ask his wife if she was sitting down before he told her the news of his $1 million winning ticket. When asked if he was disappointed about being 1 Powerball number away from the record jackpot, he said, "I'm not greedy." Brooks is planning to use his winnings to pay property taxes and buy his wife a used Cadillac. At 82, he is retired from driving fuel trucks and said it's going to be wonderful to have the money for the remainder of his retirement. Brooks bought his Powerball ticket at the TNT Hollywood Tavern in Salem. Brenda Einerson has been playing the Oregon Lottery since the 80s and gravitates towards the $5 scratch-its. She always enters the second chance sweepstakes, and her persistence paid off. She won $50,000 in our second chance drawing. She drove with her husband from Shady Cove to Salem to claim her prize earlier this month. The timing couldn't be better, as Belinda has been off work due to a recent back surgery and will now be able to take care of some medical bills. She also plans to spoil herself with a new washer and dryer. Crown Market in Medford is her go-to for tickets. And finally, Lily Hoffman of Prineville got quite the 18th birthday surprise. Among the scratch-its gifted to her by her aunt was a $10,000 winner. Lily and her aunt were at a restaurant in Prineville when they scanned the winning ticket and had a hard time keeping their voices down with the excitement. Just before her birthday, Lily got word of being accepted at the University of Oregon. She plans to use her prize money for school expenses, and Lily's winning ticket was purchased at the R&R grocery store in Prineville. And that concludes my report for the month.
Thank you, and congratulations to everyone there on a great sales month, it sounds like. Moving on to the minutes of last month. The minutes of the previous commission meeting have been circulated to the commission in advance of today's meeting. If there are no changes to the minutes, is there a motion to approve?
I move that the minutes of the Oregon State Lottery Commission meeting held on October 26, 2022 be approved as final as presented today.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye. And for the record, the motion has passed. And please, if you could welcome Kathy Ortega for her financial report.
Yes, good morning, Chair Wilcox, Commissioners, Director Pack. For the record, my name is Kathy Ortega, Chief Financial Officer for the Oregon Lottery. And we're here today to go over the financial report for October and year-to-date October. Turning to the first page, which is the report for the month of October, we have net revenue of $120.9 million on a budget of $114.5 million, $6.4 million favorable. Commissions always trend negatively when we have a good revenue month. And so that is that particular variance. We have some other negative variances such as advertising, public information, and research, which are timing differences and we are definitely very much favorable in these categories on the year-to-date basis. Salaries, wages, and benefits, I wanted to go over the positive variance there. We have a significant number of positions in the budget that are vacant. 29 of which, I think the number is 49, and 29 of which we are actively recruiting on. So that variance, as those positions get filled, will reverse. And finally, for the month, we had a net profit of 76.9 million on a budget of 66.8 million, 10.1 million favorable. On a year-to-date basis, we had net revenue of 466.4 million on a budget of 452 million, 14.3 million favorable. And again, same explanations as the month applied to the year-to-date. Net profit of 289 million on a budget of 251.3, $37.8 million favorable. I also have the schedule of services and supplies there for you today. And I also have the balance sheet as of October 31st for your consideration. Normally, at the end of the quarter, which was in September, we give you a schedule of the capital spending and spending on projects. We neglected to get that out to you last month, and so I'm going to ask you to go to those two schedules in your packet of materials that was distributed to you so we could just briefly go over them. I'm attempting to scroll through them myself right now. So the first schedule is the capital outlay report as of the end of the first quarter, which was September. You can see that on an original budget of 57.1 million, we've spent about 11.5 million. The greatest majority of that spending is on our VLT program and our replacements there, leaving a remaining budget of 45.6 million. And looking at the business modernization spending, we had a budget of 20.7 million. We've spent about $1 million of that, mostly on our AX replacement, which is an ongoing project, leaving 19.7 million remaining, which is a lot. And I will just, in looking at this schedule, give a reminder that we will be going through a mid-year rebalance in the month of December, presenting to you in January, where we will look at the progress of all of these programs that are in the budget, in flight, and we will be doing adjusting for anything that doesn't look like it's going to be completed this year. So with that, that's my report for today. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing no questions for Kathy, is there a motion to approve the financial statements?
I move that the Oregon State Lottery financial statements for the month ended October 31st, 2022 be approved for the record as presented today.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox.
Aye. And for the record, the motion has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a pretty short agenda for today, but I'd like to open it up for any other business that anyone has. And hearing none, this concludes today's meeting of the Oregon State Lottery Commission. The next meeting is scheduled for December 16th. Thank you all for attending today's meeting. The meeting is adjourned, and I wish you all a safe and happy holiday next week.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.